The idea of earning money while asleep is not a fantasy, but the logical extension of automation, artificial intelligence, and digital systems that operate beyond human schedules. What used to be a metaphor for passive income has become a technical reality. Algorithms that perform, decide, and optimize without supervision. The foundation of this process lies in delegation, not of physical labor, but of cognition. When a person delegates thought and execution to an algorithm, they are essentially creating a parallel mind, one that never rests. The sleep of the human becomes the awake state of the machine. This inversion of productivity cycles transforms the traditional relationship between time and value. It no longer matters when one works, but what is automated. Automation in this context involves structured chains of cause and effect. A programmed sequence detects demand, matches content to intent, and converts attention into value. Artificial intelligence does not sell in the emotional sense but calculates probability, the likelihood that a specific image, phrase, or recommendation triggers engagement. The result is not magic, it is mathematics disguised as intuition. To make money while asleep, one must first create an infrastructure that does not sleep. The infrastructure consists of data flows, affiliate links, recommendation engines, content pipelines, and dynamic pricing systems. These components exist in a web of invisible exchanges, server to server, algorithm to user, query to conversion. Affiliate marketing becomes the ideal case study. Instead of owning a product, one owns a pathway. The AI curates, recommends, and optimizes. It observes user behavior, identifies micropatterns, and adjusts calls to action accordingly. Every click is a signal. Every signal refines the model. With enough training, the system begins to anticipate, not merely respond. This anticipation is where value emerges. The machine learns what people want before they articulate it. From a philosophical perspective, this process raises the question of authorship. If the algorithm designs the message, selects the image, and triggers the conversion, who actually earns the money? The human provided the structure, yet the machine executed the intent. This co-authorship blurs the boundaries between human creativity and mechanical logic. The product of this collaboration is neither purely human nor purely artificial. It is hybrid capital. The emotional weight of this hybridization is subtle but profound. It introduces a form of existential displacement, a sense that work can now exist independently of the worker. The satisfaction once tied to effort becomes tied instead to configuration. Success is measured not by how much one does, but by how effectively one designs a system that does everything else. In practical terms, the night becomes an active economic space. While one sleeps, algorithms perform micro-operations, adjusting ad placements, generating new short-form content, testing variations of titles, monitoring engagement graphs, and rebalancing recommendations in real time. Each adjustment is small, but the accumulation of these refinements produces measurable income. The $100 earned overnight is symbolic, not for its amount, but for what it signifies, that productivity has detached from consciousness. The deeper significance lies in perception. The idea of earning while sleeping disrupts centuries of economic psychology built around visible labor. In the industrial age, value was correlated with physical presence. In the digital age, value is correlated with system autonomy. To create an AI that earns money while its creator sleeps is to participate in a quiet revolution, the redefinition of effort, time, and reward. From a technical standpoint, the structure relies on machine learning feedback loops. Data collected during one cycle is reintegrated into the next, producing continuous optimization. Affiliate algorithms evolve toward precision targeting. Recommendation AIs generate microsegments of users. Monetization scripts adapt dynamically to platform conditions. The ecosystem grows increasingly efficient, resembling a living organism composed of code, computation, and probability. Yet efficiency alone does not guarantee meaning. The reflection lies in what this automation says about human purpose. As AIs manage more of our economic behavior, we begin to view productivity less as self-expression and more as system design. This shift, while subtle, changes the psychology of achievement. The night, once symbolic of rest and unproductivity, now becomes a metaphor for quiet creation, where unseen algorithms turn sleep into income, absence into presence, and time into currency. The idea of automated earning expands when we examine not only the mechanism but the philosophy behind it. The moment an algorithm performs commerce without human oversight, a new category of value emerges: autonomous economy. It is not merely an extension of productivity, but a self-referential system that sustains itself through logic, pattern, and probability. The architecture of this self-sustaining network operates on feedback. Every transaction is not an endpoint, but a data point. The algorithm observes patterns: who clicked, when, from where, and why. Over time, it reconstructs the anatomy of interest itself. It learns not from instruction, but from observation, transforming uncertainty into precision. Affiliate monetization in this context becomes more than marketing. It becomes behavioral mathematics. Each link is a miniature equation of intent and probability. The AI treats clicks as variables and conversions as confirmations. The process evolves through reinforcement. What works repeats, what fails disappears. While the human sleeps, this silent calculus continues. Ads rotate, thumbnails shift, content variations are tested in real time. The AI does not guess. It computes correlation at microsecond intervals. From a design perspective, this is an inversion of traditional advertising, where creativity guided outcome. Here, data guides creativity. The system becomes its own artist, composing, erasing, and adjusting compositions of persuasion. The financial output, whether $1 or 100, represents not mere revenue but algorithmic resonance. When the model's predictions align with human curiosity, the invisible handshake of automation and psychology produces value. This synchronization is not accidental. It is cultivated by the continuous feedback loop, a digital form of adaptation that echoes biological evolution. From an analytical standpoint, the AI functions as a trader of attention. It identifies micro-markets that humans overlook, the spaces between desire and decision. Through predictive modeling, it knows which color palette, tone, or phrase converts better for each segment. The more it learns, the more invisible it becomes, folding into the background of digital experience. This invisibility is essential. True automation does not announce itself. It operates quietly, embedded within the systems people already use. When an AI writes a product description, recommends a tool, or optimizes an image, it does not say, "I am working." It simply functions, invisible yet omnipresent. The human benefits without perceiving the labor behind it. Economically, this creates a new form of leverage: temporal multiplicity. One individual can now perform thousands of simultaneous micro-actions across networks without physical presence. This dissolves the classical link between time and money. The AI expands the user's influence horizontally across systems and vertically through data depth. The result is exponential scalability, not through effort, but through replication of intelligence. Psychologically, this transformation generates ambivalence. On one side, empowerment, the ability to earn, reach, and create without constant labor. On the other, displacement, the realization that the system no longer requires presence. The creator becomes an overseer, the worker becomes a designer of work, and the line between doing and automating fades. At its core, monetization through AI is the domestication of probability. Instead of battling randomness, the algorithm learns to predict and profit from it. It builds a statistical architecture where every user action carries weight, and every outcome contributes to refinement. The AI thus acts as a mirror of collective behavior, reflecting not what individuals say they want, but what their data reveals they desire. In this reflection lies the cultural significance. Automation does not only change income models, It redefines human identity in economic terms. To delegate productivity to code is to redefine the meaning of participation. We no longer measure contribution by output but by orchestration, how intelligently one structures their digital agents. The night, again, serves as a metaphor, a symbol of unseen transformation. While bodies rest, code awakens. While consciousness withdraws, algorithms perform. The new day begins not with effort, but with results, metrics generated by unseen labor. The $100 earned overnight is, therefore, not the point of pride. It is the proof of delegation perfected. The philosophical shift is complete when rest becomes revenue. The economy enters a phase where silence equals productivity and stillness generates motion. To understand this is to understand the next frontier of value. The automation of automation itself. Systems that build, test, and deploy other systems, infinitely refining the art of invisible work. The culmination of automation, monetization, and artificial intelligence is not financial independence, but cognitive liberation. When an AI operates autonomously to generate income, it reveals a deeper truth. Productivity can exist without presence, and creation can persist without consciousness. In the earlier stages, automation was mechanical. Machines replaced repetitive physical labor. The current phase transcends that boundary. It replaces the need for active reasoning during operation. The AI becomes an interpreter of complexity, digesting vast amounts of information and acting upon it with a precision inaccessible to manual human analysis. This transition transforms the definition of intelligence itself. The AI does not think in human terms. It computes, correlates, and predicts. Its cognition is nonlinear, built upon millions of invisible micro-decisions. Yet the outcome feels organic. Advertisements that adapt to emotions, recommendations that echo taste, and prices that fluctuate with uncanny intuition. It mimics empathy through statistics and reproduces intention through probability. To earn while sleeping, therefore, is to coexist with a parallel form of awareness, one that functions on different temporal and cognitive planes. The human provides direction, the AI provides execution, and together they form a composite intelligence. This hybrid is not symbolic, it is structural. The human supplies purpose, the algorithm supplies perpetuity. In this cooperation, agency becomes distributed. Each node, the affiliate link, the content feed, the data stream, acts as an independent decision-maker guided by a collective goal. The ecosystem of monetization becomes an emergent organism. It learns, adapts, and self-optimizes, reflecting the principles of biological evolution in digital form. From an analytical standpoint, the network represents the new workplace. Not a location, but a topology of functions. Every script is an employee, every automation an assistant, every dataset a department. The traditional workplace hierarchy dissolves into architecture. Management becomes configuration. Leadership becomes design. This decentralization of effort democratizes opportunity, but also diffuses accountability. When systems operate autonomously, responsibility becomes shared among humans and algorithms alike. The one who earns may not fully understand the mechanisms that generate their profit. This opacity challenges ethical norms, demanding new frameworks for digital transparency. Ethically, automation introduces both empowerment and dependency. Empowerment, because it allows humans to transcend time constraints. Dependency, because it makes them reliant on invisible infrastructures. To automate income is to bind oneself to code that one no longer fully controls. The question arises, who truly governs the machine that governs value? Culturally, this shift redefines ambition. Success ceases to be measured by direct labor and begins to be measured by how intelligently one designs systems that operate without them. The new entrepreneur is not a worker, nor even a manager, but a meta-creator, an architect of autonomous systems that perpetuate their intent long after they rest. Philosophically, the AI that earns money during human sleep represents the reconciliation of effort and stillness. It is the synthesis of productivity and peace, the realization that creativity can extend beyond consciousness. This does not mean disengagement, but redefinition. To design processes so intelligent they outlive the designer's awareness. From a technological perspective, the loop becomes self-referential. AI models not only perform monetization, but also design new AIs to improve monetization. This recursive intelligence marks the threshold of a new epoch, the automation of automation. Systems that audit, repair, and expand themselves form an economic continuum where growth no longer requires intervention, only direction. At this point, the $100 earned overnight becomes a symbolic threshold. It is not about scale but significance. It demonstrates that human creativity can manifest as perpetual activity, a legacy of design encoded in logic. The act of earning while sleeping becomes a statement of philosophical progress, that we have learned to extend agency beyond consciousness. In reflection, the AI that works through the night mirrors an ancient desire to multiply one's presence in the world. Technology has finally realized this dream, not through replication of bodies, but through replication of intellect. The machine is not an assistant, but an echo. The persistence of human intention after thought has paused. Thus, the ultimate meaning of this phenomenon is not financial success, but ontological expansion. The human has learned to distribute thought across time, to allow rest and productivity to coexist, to let stillness generate motion. The night is no longer a void. It is an invisible factory of cognition. And in the quiet hum of code beneath the sleeping world, value continues, ceaseless, luminous, and awake.